everybody, my name is Ryan. This is my beautiful assistant Jules. Today we're going to show you to make authentic New York style pizza.
Pizza making is a great thing to do with friends or family. Everybody can get their own part in the kitchen and do their own part in making the pizza, and it's a really fun activity to do in the kitchen.
Now, everybody at one point or another has tried to make pizza in the kitchen, but if you've ever tried, you'll notice that you're a little bit disappointed. It never comes out exactly like the pizza that you get from the pizzeria. So we're going to show you to get that authentic pizzeria quality crust. Now there's two main differences between the oven typically found in a pizzeria and those found at home. An oven typically found in a pizzeria can exceed upwards of 700 degrees, where an oven at home can only go up to 500.
The second main difference is that in a pizzeria, there is a slate surface. This allows the heat to be distributed evenly so that when the dough hits this surface, it gets locked into place.
So in order to replicate this pizzeria quality, we're going to need two special tools.
The first,
a cooking stone.
and a peel.
A cooking stone is a piece of tile or slate that's inserted into the oven and replicates the cooking surface of a pizzeria oven. When we insert it into the oven, we're going to want to put our oven onto the highest setting, which is typically 500 or 550 degrees.
What you also need is a peel. If you notice, there's a beveled edge and a long handle, both of which help slide your pizza off the peel and onto the hot cooking stone. You can find both of these items at Target, Williams-Sonoma, or Bed Bath & Beyond.
Alright, let's get started. We set the heat to about 550 degrees.
What you'll need is 1 package of dry active yeast, 1 cup of warm water, 3 cups of all-purpose or bread flour, 1 tablespoon sugar, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon extra virgin olive oil plus a little extra for coating, tomato sauce of your choice, and 1 pound of shredded mozzarella cheese.
We're going to start by using Fleischmann's pizza crust yeast. Add 1/4 ounce of dry activated yeast into 1 cup of warm water. Stir the yeast until it's completely dissolved in the water.
Now we're ready to mix our dough. First, we're going to add 3 cups of flour into a large mixing bowl. Next, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to mix up all of the dry ingredients so that everything gets distributed evenly. Next, we're going to add the wet ingredients. Here, we have 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, by now the yeast has been activated, so we can go ahead and add that in. Now you want to mix it all together. You have to knead the dough with your hands for about 5 minutes. After you're done kneading the dough, cover the bowl with some saran wrap and place it in a warm place for 30 to 45 minutes so that it can rise.
We've already gone ahead and made some dough. As you can see, it's risen to about 2 to 3 times its original size. Alright, so we got our peel, and we're going to start spreading the dough directly onto the peel. But before we do that, we're going to want to spread a little bit of flour onto the peel so the dough doesn't stick. As I start spreading out the dough, why don't you go ahead and start grating some cheese.
Okay, let's go. For this recipe, we're using 1 pound of part skim, low moisture mozzarella. You can use whatever types of cheese that you want, but here you want to make sure you have a lot of cheese prepared to cover your entire pizza.
When you're spreading your dough, you want to work from the center and work your way out. As you're spreading your dough, you might notice some sticky spots. You just go ahead and add a little bit more flour. As you keep spreading, You want to keep occasionally flipping the dough so the dough doesn't get stuck to the peel. Alright, so the dough's pretty much the size that we need. So we're going to go ahead and add some tomato sauce. Here we're using Greenway's 4 cheese tomato sauce, but you can pick any tomato sauce or whatever you like. Once you get started putting that on the pizza, and I'll go grab some herbs and spices.
Now you don't want to put too much sauce on your pizza, otherwise it'll get soupy. Just make sure you have enough to lightly spread around the surface of the pizza before you put your cheese on. You want to start by applying the sauce to the center of the dough and working your way outward. Leave about 1/4 inch border for your crust.
Alright, so we got some spices. Here we're going to use some garlic powder, crushed red pepper, and basil. You can apply the spices in the beginning right onto the sauce or later onto the cheese. First here, we're going to apply the cheese. So you don't want to use too much cheese, but you want to leave enough space so the tomato sauce peeks out. So that looks about ready. Alright, so we can go ahead and apply our garlic powder, crushed red pepper, and basil.
We have one last ingredient to put on, and that's fresh Parmesan cheese.
So that looks pretty good. So we can go ahead and put it in the oven.
Allow your pizza to cook about 15 to 20 minutes. You'll know it's done when the dough starts to bubble and the cheese melts and begins to get brown on top.
Once again, this is where your peel is going to come in handy. Slip the peel under the dough to easily remove the pizza. Looks pretty good. Let's cut it up. See how it tastes. Once you're done cutting up your pizza, there's only one more thing to do.
Serve it up and enjoy it with some friends.